On Trump 2024 senior advisor Alina Habba. Alina, good to have you with us. You hear what Jason Crow says. He says that the former president might not be up to a debate, and that's why he says he's running scared from the previously announced ABC debate.
I'm literally at a loss, Martha. I was laughing while I listened to that for somebody to ever say that President Trump is afraid. I don't know if you haven't been watching the news for the last 3 years, but there is one thing you cannot call President Trump, and that is a fearful person, especially after what has transpired for him for the last 2 weeks. So I'm insulted and offended by those comments and remarks. Secondly, I echo your sentiments. He's not only not afraid, bring it on, and bring it on under American terms, not under CNN and your stations with your terms and mics off because you're afraid. Number one. Number two, we've got a vice president who is not the candidate yet. You're right, Martha. And also, by the way, everyone's getting excited. This is the same person that never went to the border, never did anything. There is nothing to be afraid about. She has a record. Her record speaks for itself. It's a big zero. So, no, President Trump is not afraid. I love those sentiments. Maybe he got talking points about the Sleepy Joe portion and got confused. We're talking about President Trump, the same man that got shot in the ear, stood up, put his hand up and said, fight. They're talking about the wrong person. One thing he's not is afraid. Bring it on.
So what about Congressman Crow's point that on June 27th, there hadn't been conventions yet. So why not have this between these two candidates even before the convention, even though nothing was scheduled before that convention? But
well, I think if you look at the campaign statement, it's very clear. Let's know who we're running against. It's not our fault that the Democratic Party has completely fallen apart, that they literally had donors pulling out, and now she's rejoicing. She's rejoicing over money that was withheld because the president that she worked with for the last 3 years utterly failed the American people. And that's where I think the campaign says it perfectly. Give us the details. Let us know who we're running against because we're wasting the American people's time.
Well,
and this last-minute switcheroo,
we already saw one debate against a candidate who ended up to not be the candidate. So it's understandable that there's a bit of hesitation. This is the former White House Communications Director, Anthony Scaramucci, saying that he thinks that J.D. Vance may not make it to November 5th. Watch this.
There's nothing that Trump hates more than dull people. And, J.D., I think, stands for just dull. And so he is not doing well on the stump for Donald Trump. He's hurting him. He may or may not make it to November 5th, J.D. Vance.
So he says there's going to be another scramble coming up. Alina, what do you say to that?
I'm not sure what they're speaking about. We have heard and seen through polling, through numbers, through donors, that there is full support of the Vance-Trump ticket. Let's be very clear. J.D. is a wonderful person. I know him personally. I'm sure you do as well, too, Martha. He's strong. He's young. He's got energy. And while they're trying to throw stones, it's frankly because they are now in a crisis. They don't know who their candidate's going to be. And we're seeing people backtrack like George Clooney and Obama. These are the people that their side is listening to. It's a disgrace, and I don't blame them. They got to grasp at straws. It's desperate.
All right, we'll see where it goes. Alina, thank you very much. Good to see you.
Thank you.